Welcome to Moose Plays, everyone. I'm the Liquor Moose, and today we will be going over my Week 10 team builder for the second season of the UPA D-League. This week we will be going up against CMR, coach of the San Antonio Spores. Awesome team name, but anyways, so CMR is a replacement coach for John. It's kind of like, it's weird. CMR is right in the midst of the playoff race. We kind of are too. We're a little bit ahead of CMR. He's 4-5 and we're 6-3. So we definitely don't want to get him any farther into the playoff race. As well, there is the potential that if we lose out, that we don't make playoffs. And there's also very good potential for us to confirm for playoffs if we win today. If we win this week. So I definitely want to try my best for that one. And yeah, preparing for this one was a little odd. There's some kind of unique threats and stuff like that. But yeah, so talking about that, let's just go over CMR's team. So CMR drafted, well, not drafted, he inherited Tapu Koko, Garchomp, Megaane, Alolan Muck, Vaporeon, Decidueye, Uxie, Registeel, Moltres, Porygon 2, Regice, and Clefairy. His Z move users being Garchomp, Decidueye, and Regice. So there is a lot to say with this. The biggest threat, in general on his team, definitely the Megaane. That thing, straight up 2-hit KOs, if not OHKOs, pretty much my entire team. That thing is actually, it's bonkers how bulky or how insanely strong that thing is. It's completely stupid. Past the Metacham, though, Garchomp's a problem, Koko's a problem, obviously, every time you go up against it. To this specific team, I think Alolan Muck can be a bit of an issue if he brings the correct set. And then, honestly, past that, he has the same defensive core I had in GPC in Uxie and Decidueye, so I kind of know the weaknesses, but, he could, play around it, sort of. I will say, the games that CMR has been in, he has used Porygon 2 phenomenally, so, I kind of expect that to come. I personally don't think it has the best matchup, but just with the way that CMR has used it throughout the season, I can kind of see it coming, showing up to this match. But yeah, honestly, not really too much to say about it. The problem with, I say problem, but the thing with 12 Pokemon teams that I find is that there's always the 3 or 4 really big threats, and then the rest of the stuff you can kind of play around in game and don't necessarily have to prep as hard for, which is a little bit on the iffy side. But at the same time, I hope and think I'll be able to play around it. So past that, let's just go over my team. Well, that's the wrong thing to start on. So first off, we have a Tornadus Therian, which is it's my 100% offensive check to Megaane. I had to solve this on this thing to be able to live a Thunderbolt from Tapu Koko, but then I realized that I need to hit my Hurricane because with this investment, Hurricane is guaranteed to knock out a max HP Megaane. The problem being, I just need to hit the Hurricane. Luckily, actually, I haven't missed Hurricane at all this season, so I've been pretty lucky with that, but I really don't want to start that trend now. Beyond that, we have Icy Wind for Garchomp, which is a guaranteed 2-hit KO, barring he's Yache Berry, Knockoff for General Utility, and then U-Turn, obviously for the General U-Turn shenanigans. Hello, McAfee. But anyways, originally, like I said, I was Assault Vest to deal with Koko, and I originally had Sludge Wave on there, but then I thought, no, I need to hit my Hurricane, so I'll take Assault Vest off, and then if that's the case, I'm never staying in on Koko with this, so I just went with Knockoff instead. As I think the knockoff is just going to be, in general, much better. Obviously, he has some relatively safe switch-ins with Garchomp and Megaane, even though Megaane doesn't really want to switch into Tornadus, per se. And then Garchomp is really only a good switch-in if I'm not clicking Hurricane or Icy Wind. And it's really only a good knockoff switch-in if it's Z-move. Even Koko is going to lose an item. The big one definitely is making Alolan Muck losing its item. I think that's going to be huge. But yeah, again, not too much to say realistically about this one. It's just the general, oh my god, it's just a general kind of annoyance Pokemon that I kind of drafted it to be, even though I don't have Taunt on here, because that's where the next Pokemon comes in. So we have Taunt Bulk Up Mega Gallade, because his best response to this is Uxie, and Uxie can definitely sort of be shut down by Taunt, and in the same token, Registeel kind of gets shut down by Taunt, and these two kind of went together because, like I said before, U-Turn's on here. It's a pretty no drawback play against CMR, especially if he stays in or especially if I'm able to get this in on his Mega Metacham, because like honestly with CMR's team, it's very like half and half between his team easily takes Hurricanes and his team doesn't want to take Hurricanes, and the things that don't want to take Hurricanes, I can easily U-turn on and basically abuse with this or with another Pokemon later. But yeah, so we are taunt bulk up because we want to be able to taunt the Registeel and the Uxie, which are the two biggest things I'm definitely going to be able to set up on. Regice, sort of. I really don't see Regice coming to this match specifically because of Gallade, but if he does have Regice there, then I can taunt that to make sure it doesn't Toxic, and then basically all that's left is him pretty much relying on either Ice Beam freezes or Thunderbolt paras, which not the most reliable, even though I've seen it happen. And then yeah, past that I'll be able to get some bulk ups and get some big drain punches off there. Obviously, it seems weird that I plan to sort of plan to set up on oh my god, I can't think, against a Uxie without a oh my god, I can't think, without a knockoff or like X-Scissor or something like that. But I don't know, I just decided on the Poison Jab as that was the best thing to hit the top of Coco, as if I'm at full, he can't knock me out. And then at the same token, most of the stuff I'm going to want to click Drain Punch against anyways. Surprisingly enough, if I get enough bulk ups up, this thing can tank hits from Mega Metacham relatively easily, since this does resist both stabs. Oh, excuse me. And then honestly, like a +2, it's a roll to 2 KO Fizdef Uxie, which I don't know if he'll bring like completely Fizdef, who knows. But yeah, I just figured these two would be like, honestly, I picked Poison Jab mostly because like in case the random Clefairy shows up. I really don't expect it to, but that was the main reason I picked Poison Jab out of all the moves. And then obviously like hitting top of Coco is a big thing too, because Zen Headbutt not guaranteed a 2 KO depending on the set. Poison Jab is if I get set up. So yeah. This is one of the things that I plan to. This is one of the things I plan to abuse on his quote-unquote good Hurricane switch-ins from Thundurus, and it's also another big reason why I don't really think Porygon 2 comes in this matchup, even though he's used it really well. But another thing that can abuse the stuff that switches into Hurricane well is Diggersby, because Diggersby has a really good matchup in this game. I'm not gonna lie, not necessarily against the Mega Metacham, but like honestly, everything below the everything that's like Uxie and below, we're creeping a no speed Uxie with this speed, by the way, and my goodness, his team has an issue switching into the combination of Return, Earthquake, and Knockoff, and then U-turn is obviously there because it's U-turn and it's just good shenanigans and stuff. He has no Spike Setter, doesn't have a Toxic Spike Setter either, he only has Stealth Rock, so Diggersby is not getting worn down too much by hazards. And yeah, so he has difficulty switching into Earthquake and Return, like I said, because Alolan Muck, if he's a Assault Vest, actually switches into Hurricane relatively easily from my Tornadus, which is why if I see it there, I'm pretty much going to click U-turn to see what his response to my Tornadus is, and then I can bring in Diggersby, and hopefully fire off a relatively free Earthquake, barring he has Uxie there as well, and I guess Moltres as well. Moltres might actually prove to be a little bit of an issue for this team now that I'm looking at it, but that's beside the point. I'm hoping I can play around that. But yeah, so I guess not too much to say. We are Assault Vest, so that way we can pivot into Coco easier. It does not knock us out with anything, barring he's Specs, I believe. Yeah, I think so. I don't remember. It's honestly, I built this team a little bit ago, and I'm recording relatively soon before we play. So anyways, Assault Vest lets us pivot into Coco easier, as it's a pretty good offensive check to that, and then also he just has like the way his speed tiers work, he has like Mega Medi at 100, which I can definitely see him running like max speed or close to it on it, and then past that, below that, he has 95, which I'm not too sure honestly, and then he also has Moltres, which again I'm not too sure. Obviously Moltres probably would be run closer to max speed, but like honestly past that Moltres, like he has Decidueye, which is like a very meh Pokemon to run speed on, and then past that it's like Vaporeon, which doesn't usually run speed, Muck usually doesn't run speed, Registeel, Porygon, Regice, Clefairy, like none of those run speed, so having Diggersby as kind of like a fat breaker in this game is going to be really good. So next up, you're probably thinking, like, these were the three, like, this in conjunction with these two Pokemon can really abuse this team, which, by the way, speeds for Garchomp, obviously, I think they hit the same mark, yep. And then you're probably thinking these three might possibly get destroyed by Mega Metacham. Well, I mean, I have Celebi here, it's definitely going to be my Mega Metacham switch in, which is really unfortunate because Celebi's not a pure Psychic typing, and that's really the only reason why it's unfortunate that this is my Mega Metacham switch in, because Ice Punch, even to max Fizz Def, is a roll to 2-hit KO. In fact, with leftovers, it's exactly half. It's exactly a coin flip to 2-hit KO, unfortunately. So, yeah, I kind of need to rely on him clicking high jump kick and stuff like that. I'm really not sure. Like, if he just clicks high jump kick and I switch into that, then I can easily not recover stall, but like I can recover potentially more health than he is doing, or I can recover more damage than he can do to me potentially. Giga Drain is here for some good. Oh my goodness, for some good recovery, and like is a really good way to hit the Vaporeon should he bring it. And then Dazzling Gleam is going to be my main way of hitting Mega Metacham, because if I have Psychic on this, like, the problem is Alolan Muck has a pretty free, like, not pretty free, it has a basically free switch into Celebi, especially since I'm not carrying Earth Power, so I didn't want to give it a completely free switch in if I could at all help it. So Dazzling Gleam does min 50% to offensive Mega Metacham as well, so it's a guaranteed 2-hit KO, and then have U-turn in case he does want to switch into the Alolan Muck. I can make sure I can U-turn out and not Pursuit Trap him. I'd be very surprised if Muck doesn't show up, because it's a good like special sponge this game and can Pursuit Trap my Celebi, so I can definitely see that coming. And then obviously Recover is here just for the basic recovery. Now kind of looking at it, maybe Vaporeon might be a bit of an issue, but hopefully I can set up with my Mega Gallade enough to the point where his Vaporeon doesn't really matter. So yeah, not too much to say with Celebi. It's just here to be like physically defensive. Hopefully here to sponge some hits from Mega Metacham. And next up we have my Skarmory, which is definitely going to be my switch into the Garchomp, as if I try to make Celebi switch into both of them, Celebi's going to take way too much damage throughout the match, and it's going to get worn down fairly easily. So I wanted a separate switch in for the Garchomp, and this is definitely it. We are hazard stacking him because, like I said, he only has access to Stealth Rocks. I have access to both in one Pokemon, so I want to force him to defog, especially when he has a Moltres weak to rocks and a I mean, that's really it. I guess Regice is weak to rocks, but I mean, that's not that big of a deal. It's mostly to pressure the the Moltres for rocks. But then the rest of the stuff, like, I thought about Mono Spikes, because like most of the stuff is grounded and some of it resists rock, like the Mega Metacham, the Garchomp, and the Registeel. So I definitely wanted Spikes to pressure those as well. And then we have Roost for recovery, and then like, I really needed a good way to hit the Regice in case he did bring it. So Iron Head is definitely the way to go with that. And I don't want to take any extra damage from Brave Bird and stuff like that. So yeah, we went Iron Head over, and as well, again, like, the stupid Clefairy's in the back of my head, so I wanted to make sure that I can deal more damage to that and possibly flinch stall it down. I didn't really think taunt was necessary on this, as because, like, I guess I could have taunted the oh my goodness, I could have taunted the Registeel, but like I can't really do much back to the Registeel other than Hazard Stack, and then he basically gets free Seismic Tosses on this or whatever I want to switch into the Registeel. So taunt was better for Mega Gallade on that point, but yeah, again, like, it's Skarmory, not too much to say. There's a physical threat I need to there's a physical threat I need stop to it, and that's Skarmory for you. And finally we have the I hate myself button, because god damn it, Hydreigon, why is your Scarf set the best set? I really want to run different sets on Hydreigon, but Scarf just always ends up being the best fucking set to bring in a match. And yeah, so I mean, it's just obvious. Draco Meteor is for stabs, Dark Pulse is for stab, and Earth Power is here mostly for the Alolan Muck and the Tapu Koko. Knocking off the Muck's item is going to be very important, because he's either going to be one of three items, which will be either Shuka Berry to take hits mostly from my Diggersby, or to take, I guess, a hit from my Diggersby. It'll either be Super Berry, so knocking that off and making sure he doesn't have reliable recovery is very good, or he's Assault Vest to pivot into Tornadus a lot easier. And if he is Assault Vest, then knocking that off to make sure that Earth Powers do a decent amount of damage is much better. And then obviously we have U-turn for just general shenanigans. And yeah, again, not too much to say. Speed is here for, that's a good question, probably max speed Moltres, as I don't really see a reason I would have creeped max speed Uxie. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Alright, so yeah, so max speed Hydreigon, we're speed creeping the Moltres, and yeah, again, not too much to say. It's Scarf Hydreigon. I mean, what the fuck else do you expect? So yeah, that is the team. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And unfortunately, there are no links to CMR, so I cannot link you to his channel. But yeah, keep your eyes out on the channel tomorrow for when the match versus CMR goes live. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.